Okay, salutations, everyone. I wanted to come before you and just to give you a little bit more content on my channel. I think this one is oh, this one is a kiki. Okay, so I'm going to explain the title, and I'm also going to explain um, my display name as well. So it's going to have some backstory to it. Okay, so there's this sector on YouTube. It's called the beef sector. I think I mentioned it a couple of times. That I've been following for the past like 4 or 5 years. But it's been around for like the past 10 or so years. This beef sector. There's it consists of content creators, and there's people. There's some content creators that have a different version of the origin of this beef sector thing. It started off with calling it the Section 8 sector, and then it derived. It started from when T.S. Madison and Kaya had their Queen Supreme Court show, and then there was some reviews on that, and then there was some divided uh, reviews on their show, and so that's where it derived from. So I don't know like the full like the true story or the true origin, but all I know is that they were grouped together, and it calls the beef sector. So, and they're consist of these content creators that do commentary on various topics depending on who you watch. But they also roast and gag each other. They take the dozens to the whole nother level. They curse each other out. They go on different platforms and they duke it out verbally. They they have beefs with there's some beefs with from one content creator to another, and hey, and we watch, we just sit there and watch, or some people we sit and comment, or you know drop in a chat about it, or watch from the bushes, as they say. The bushes meaning is that you're watching, but um you're not exchanging dialogue, you're not in the comments, but you're in the bushes and you're just watching, right? And then now it got into the point where it became real dark, because some people, instead of taking the L when they've been roasted and dragged, and they feel like they have a losing battle or their back is against the wall, they started doxing, which is a coward move to me. No matter who does it, is a coward move. Doxing means a person digs personal information about another person and posts it for malicious intent, whether it's their address, family information, arrest history, employment. They put it out there as a way of, um, trying to win the argument, or trying to win the roast and drag. So to me, that's a coward move, no matter who does it. But there are proud doxers out there. So that's the gist of that. So a lot of them do that, or they even contact certain family members. They contact CPS. They do all these things. They contact places of employment and cause many content creators to lose their job or put their jobs in jeopardy. And yes, and there's been even situations where there's been court visits. People, other content creators take the other content creator to court over some matter. Police is always called. They always call the police on another content creator. And mind you, a lot of this is going on virtually. There's all this exchange is only virtual. I mean, there's been a few times where a content creator may pull up on someone, and it's gotten that bad. It's gotten that bad to that point. So I mean, people are really taking this thing way too seriously, right? So I just want to give you a little bit of backstory on the beef sector, right? And I've been following, being entertained for a while, right? And every once in a blue moon, I'll come up on someone's panel, and and talk or whatever, or I'll be in the comments, and people be in their feelings about whatever comment I make. But I'll be in the comment section sometimes. All right. So just recently, there is a content creator that goes by the name Lemon. He's been a supporter, like he would be like maybe you could call it a co-host of another person's content creator that goes by the name Sir King. Lemon will frequent his channel, and they would exchange commentary and stuff like that. And before he decided to branch out on his own and have his own YouTube channel. I think he said he's been doing his own channel for the past few months. I don't know if it's been a year yet, so don't quote me on that. But he's been doing his own channel for some months, and he is notorious for having these long marathon lives. Like he would be on for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, no exaggeration whatsoever. But he do have, he's able to generate some numbers on his channel, and he goes into different topics among the beef sector, or he'll go into who's ever he's beefing with, or whatever else is going on in the beef sector. He talks about it, and then he allows other content creators or other subscribers to come on his panel and discuss certain things or go back and forth, duke it out, and and he just kind of either facilitates or he just lets it all just like just let it free fall, and just give them the platform to do so, right? Give them the space to do that. And so I will follow, I'm actually subscribed to his channel. Um, you can subscribe as well if you choose to, or, just as much as you're allowed to subscribe to anybody else within the sector that you want to subscribe to and follow. That's on you. But anywho, um, so I will come in and then give my salutations. That's always my greeting when I want to, come in. When I come into someone's channel, I greet them, and he'd be like, "Salute to you, thank you for supporting," and and it's just been just like that for a while. And then um, there was a time when Lemon, he had like this sort of on again, off again type of virtual relationship with a content creator named Just Krista. Um, she they I don't know whether I don't even think they met in person, but they just had like this little back and forth, like virtual um romantic thing going on. And on one hand they were cool, the next minute they go at it over some, they would go at it, and they back each other from each other's platform, and then they back cool again. So it was like a on again, off again. But during the time when she was in this whole virtual romantic relationship, she'll refer to herself on the panel as Mrs. Lemon. And so, that was like the, ongoing gag. That was like a gag thing, no big deal, right? And so, after a while, I thought I'd be a little messy. I have a warped sense of humor at times, and some people get it, some people don't. And so, just in the last couple of weeks, I would pop up every now and again, and I will come up on Lemon's platform as, you guessed it, Mrs. Lemon Jr. There's a Mrs. Lemon. So I said, let me go up there as Mrs. Lemon Jr. and do a little playful flirting, and just, rock with it, just be, do a little light shade, little lighthearted stuff, right? Just, just be funny about it. And so there was some people that got a kick out of it. People in the audience, some people on a platform, on the panel, they got a kick out of it. I'll come up in there, and they'd be like, "Hey, Mrs. Lemon Jr." or whatever, or and I'll be like, "Oh, hey, Lemon, I just want to check up on you. What you want for supper tonight?" And he'll play along. He'll play along with it. I'm like, "All right, just checking. Good night." And then I'll come on, and I'll come off. Or the next couple of days, he'll come on. He'll come on live, and I'll pop up on the panel, and I'll greet everyone, and I'll be like, "So Lemon, when I run your bath water, do you want some bubbles added, or some lavender oil? And so when I rub you down, so you want me to use the coconut oil or the black seed oil?" Like it was just some playful flirting, right? And I'll come off. That was the thing. And so the other night, 2 nights ago, I decided, okay, let me just chill a little bit on this platform. I mean, no one else was really on the panel at the time. There was a couple of other people that was going back and forth, arguing back and forth. And then I, when it was up there, and we were vibing, it was cool. And I guess some people is always used to Lemons Live being lit, where it's always fighting, arguing, there's always dragging, and Lemon is, giving his spiel on what he wants to talk about, and then he starts to ramble, and so that's just like the format of it all. And so I'll come up in there, I'm chill, I'm vibing with him, and I'm doing my little playful flirting. I'm like, because his birthday, I think his birthday, I don't know if his birthday is today or tomorrow, but either way, happy birthday, Lemon. And I was at, he was saying his birthday was coming up, and I was like, well, what you want, you want anything for your birthday, anything special for your birthday? And he was like, well, you could dance for me. And I can't dance worth a damn, but like I said, it was all in fun. So I was like, you want the YouTube type of dance? You want the OnlyFans type of dance? We was just, like I said, all in fun. And so some people was in a chat, they just, some of them was, getting a kick out of it. Some people was hating. They was like, oh God, I mean, God, do we have to sit through this? I mean, this is really boring. And somebody even came up on the panel. They they wanted to throw shade at my audio because some people complain about my mic being too loud. And if, and it tends to be loud, and I apologize for that. And I do try to speak in a lower tone so it won't be overpowering, you know. But anyway, and she was like, can we just get to something else? And, and I was like, okay, whatever. Lemon was like, oh, you have no problem with that. I'm like, why would I have a problem with that? It's fine with me. They feel I'm boring. Okay, that's cool. Like I said before, and I said this many times on my channel before, that I'm going to come across a certain way to you. I'm going to give my true authentic self. So whether you accept it or not, okay, that's fine. But not everyone is going to come on a platform being loud, ratchet, and ghetto, or acting all ignorant. You know, not everyone is made up, designed to do that. There's a lane for everyone. So that's cool. So I was doing my and then after a while, after we were talking and vibing, and then there was some people in the chat that decided to assume that I was a man. Okay. They was just all up in the chat, and I had brought it to Lemon's attention. I'm like, oh, Lemon, you have some supporters um, who think I'm a man. I guess it's because of my voice, and it is because I've been called sir on a regular basis when I'm on the phone with someone, especially on my job or just in other spaces. When they hear my voice and not see me, they question whether or not I'm a man or a woman. They question that. I don't know how many times, like when I'm calling or I'm talking to someone over the phone at work, and I ask them a certain question, and they're like, "Oh, no, sir, no, ma'am," and I have to correct them. No, sir. They say no, sir, and I have to correct them, and they apologize profusely, but they understand. I'm like, I understand. It's okay. Some people chalk it up to my being from New York and having that aggressive tone. So whatever it is that they feel like my voice derives from. Okay, it is what it is, right? So they was just all up in there, just gendering me left and right, and then come to find out, the following morning, the following day, I'm coming, I'm coming on different lives, and I'm in the chats, and there are people in the chat, bringing it to my attention that there were other content creators that are, you know, that is identifying me as a man. And so I said, oh, wow, really? I'm really being, I'm in the talk up in this sector, huh? I mean, and so I go to Pettyville, and it's so funny because Brianna was one of the content creators that interviewed the cast of Fashion Craze during the press tour, and I was the one that arranged that. So, okay, I don't know if she's aware or not that I was the one that she was corresponding with, but okay, but she wants to assume that I'm a man. So I'm listening to her and Canola News, another content creator that wants to refer to me as a ninja, but he actually said the N word, and say that, oh, that's a dude, and calling me Saucy Santana. And this is the same dude that threatened to R-word children, threatened to grape children and threatened to kill people and said all kind of heinous things. But that's not okay. But I digress. But they was going back and forth because Brianna was like questioning why I was up there. Well, because I woke up and I was like, why is Faith up there? Why is Faith up there? And I'm like, that's some that is that a man? Because what woman would go and refer to herself as Junior, Mrs. Lemon, as a junior? A man usually goes by Junior. And I'm like, okay, I mean, all right, it was a play. It was a play on the whole Mrs. Lemon thing. And and for the record, yes, there's most men or most males that um carries on the junior after the father, obviously. But there are some female juniors out there as well, or they might go by they might call say the second. They might the parents might name them the second after their mothers, right? But I mean, but you see how deep this is going. Like they taking it so deeply, but. But she was just they was just having this conversation about me being a dude. Without any facts, but they were so sold on that. So it was just funny to me that I was just, talked about these last 24 hours. And then I find out also that Mrs. Lemon Senior, just Krista, she goes on her platform, and because it was brought to my attention because I don't really follow these people like that. But it was brought to my attention that she said that that she's on her platform saying that you're a man, and so I go up on there. And she's like, oh yeah, she's a man, and she's singing in Lou Rawls, you never find, trying to um, imply that my voice sounded like Lou Rawls, and as a clear indication of me being a man. And she goes on to say that Lemon needs to stop entertaining these type of people who come on and perpetrate as a man, because there are transgender who people who identify as transgender who come on these different platforms as well, who are part of the sector. And Lemon, he leaves a space for everyone. And so but she feels like he shouldn't entertain them like that, because there's a lot of people that question Lemon's sexuality as well. So that's either here or there. But she's saying that she doesn't like the fact that that he keeps entertaining these type of people. That sounds kind of transphobic, don't you think? Okay, but and then she repeats my statement about um, people thinking I'm a man because of my voice. And so she's like, "Oh no, she's an actual man. She's a dude." And I'm like, wow. And I didn't do anything to this broad. I didn't say or do anything to this broad. And it's been several times that I came up to her. I don't know if she remembers, but it's been several times that I came up to her platform and greeted her and listened to her for a little while. And but I'm like, so when I found out that she was talking about me, and I'm like, what the? And I was on Lolo's platform at the time. Shout out to Miss Lolo. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. And she's saying that I'm a dude. And I'm like, what did I do to Krista? Like, what did I do to her? And so after, I was on Lolo's platform, and we talking, and it was, I was talking to her and someone named Charlie. We was just talking about different things. And then lo and behold, Mrs. Lemon Singer, aka just Krista, comes up on the panel. I didn't say anything. I just sat in the background. I kept myself on mute because they was talking about different marijuana products and stuff like that, herbal products, and I can't relate to that because I'm not a consumer of that. So they was talking or whatever, and then I will. Before I dropped down, I wanted to say goodnight, but I don't think that Lolo and Charlie heard me. But I said goodnight, and then I dropped down, and it was like, oh, and I heard when I dropped down, I was still, my YouTube was still on, so I was still able to hear what was being said. And so Lola was like, "Oh, what happened to Faith? Did Faith drop down? I didn't kick her off. Did she drop down?" And so people in the chat was, assuring her that I dropped down, and I said goodnight before I did so. And so, and I hear just Krista, aka Mrs. Lemon, talking about, yeah, because she's a dude, and Lolo was like, you don't know that. She just, laughing it off, like, I know Faith. How do you know that for sure? Like, I don't. She's not a man. What are you talking about? Like, how do you know that for sure? That's a dude right there. That's a dude. She's a dude. She's a dude. That's a man. And so I typed in the chat, like, why don't you stay away from the water, you gremlin? So and people in the chat was laughing at me, and she still kept going in, still kept going, about, and she just really is so certain that I'm a man, right? And so I was like, okay, so if that's the case, then let me stick my D up your, let me stick my D up your ass, So And and Lolo was laughing at that, and I don't even think she that just Krista even saw what the comment that I made in the chat, because that's the thing. I might, I might say some slick shade, or I might throw a comment out there, and I would put out something. I might, give you a one liner, but I'm not a roaster. I'm not a dragger. I wish I was. I wish I could just commission someone to just help me drag someone when I need to. Like, I just could have like something just prepared, to just go all in and just do a good drag. And I just wish I could have someone that can really coach me on how to drag, how to drag someone, because I'm not good at it. But I could give you some zingers. I could give you something, a little couple of one liners there that will kind of sting a little or whatever. But I was like, let me stick my D up your, since that's the case, since you want to be so sold on me being a man. So I just wanted to just kind of, I mean, I talked about it, I talked about my experience on Lolo's platform, but I said, let me talk about it on my platform. Let me put some content on my channel to just let the people know how it's been the last 24 hours and what I experienced, the last 24 hours, which was a key to me. Isn't it amusing to you? About this whole, thing about me being a man, because I was doing some playful flirting on Lemon's platform, and people are pressed about it. I don't know whether because Lemon was giving me more attention that he gives them. I don't know. And he was really vibing with me, and people are in their feelings about it. I don't know, but I just thought I just thought I'd share that with you guys. But let me share something else. Okay, are you listening? When my mother popped me out of a cooch, I was born a girl. And I've been a girl ever since, you guys. No changes, no testosterone. I could give some that masculine energy at times. I could give you some testosterone if you want it. But nonetheless, I am a natural born woman. I am a heterosexual woman as well, just to put it out there. Okay. All right. All right. So there you have it. But if you want to continue with this whole thing about me being a man, hey, I mean, have at it. Have at it, you guys. But I just wanted to put it on record. I just want to put it on record that I am, I was born and raised a girl. Okay? Okay.